if you missed the stream last week, our legendary producer, Evan Yee, has taken on a new exciting opportunity that we can't really talk about, but you'll see him post about it at some point. Here's what you can expect in terms of programming from the Break Room. We are going to be live streaming twice a week now on the Break Room.
It's kind of like this because
we're trying to give you the same amount of content.
Right? Same amount of time, just less
fewer
broadcast.
days.
Welcome back to the Break Room. We're here live in the studio to answer your questions about the Break Room. So if you're in the chat, start sending in those bad boys. If you've got queries about the past, present, and or future of the Break Room, now is the time to unburden yourself and send them our way. Make sure you tag @BreakroomNR in the chat if you've got those questions. I'm Brandon Barrick. Joining me today, we got John Costa.
Ooh, we're getting breaky.
Also joining us today, we got Erik Voss.
Ooh, we're getting roomy.
Oh, adorable. Everybody here at Break Room has a Helix mattress, and we love it. It's one of the perks of working with Helix for years. And I swear to you, whenever I gotta travel or sleep in some other bed that is not my own, I notice the mattress is just not Helix quality. Finding your perfect mattress is so easy thanks to Helix's sleep quiz. Just answer a few questions and you'll get a mattress that's the perfect firmness and temperature for you. I wanted a medium firm mattress with lumbar support that sleeps cool, and I got matched with the Dusk Luxe Helix mattress. I've had it for years now, and it's fantastic. Before Helix, it would take me forever to fall asleep, and I'd never really wake up feeling that rested. Now I fall asleep so fast, and I wake up feeling great every single day. Helix has something for everybody. They offer 20 unique mattresses, including the award-winning Luxe and Ultra Premium Elite collections, Helix Plus for big and tall sleepers, and the Helix Kids mattresses. And if you're not ready to replace your mattress just yet, but you want to layer some Helix comfort on top, you can, thanks to Helix's new mattress topper collection. Producer Evan got himself a premium mattress topper, and he's been loving flopping down on it after a long day of streaming. Helix delivers right to your door with free shipping in the US. The mattress comes rolled up in a box and is super easy to set up yourself. I love my Helix, and I think you will too. From now until the end of May, you can take advantage of Helix's Memorial Day exclusive partner offer. You'll get 27% off site-wide, plus a free bedding bundle with any Luxe or Elite mattress order. Just click the link in the description below to get started, and thanks again to Helix for sponsoring this video. Let's dive into the Break Room. It's our 2-year anniversary of the Break Room channel on YouTube.
Yes, obviously the Break Room has existed as an entity at New Rockstars for longer than that. It used to be on the New Rockstars channel, but now it has spun off into a secondary channel, and we're 2 years into it as of yesterday. And John, that's credit to you, and obviously credit to Evan as well.
It's been a wild journey. There's been a lot of iterations of the Break Room. I hope that there will be a lot more iterations of the Break Room to come. We stay on our toes. We keep it fresh. And you know, huge testament to Evan and all of the work that he did for this show. But you know, and I don't want to take anything away from Evan, but you know, I want everyone to know that like you're in good hands.
Yeah.
Brandon has probably done more shows of the Break Room than anyone. Period.
It's been good. I've been putting in my reps.
I was one of the people who helped create this show, and Evan and I worked really hard on the first version of this, and then I kind of handed it over to him because he's so fantastic. And of course, Erik, content mind extraordinaire. Now that he's back in LA, we're working on this puppy together. So it's an exciting super team.
The Break Room, I think, for many of us at New Rockstars is like our favorite thing to do. It's like it has always been just kind of like what's the most fun we can have today? Just trying to bring the conversations we have literally behind the scenes at New Rockstars in front of our viewers and have that conversation with them. And it started when I was in a different city. And I was always so jealous that I couldn't be here in our studio with you guys having these conversations. And I was just kind of in my own little corner making other videos. Coming back to, you know, the city where we all live, this was like the thing I was looking forward to the most, rejoining like the workplace here at New Rockstars. And it's just been really fun. And it's been really cool to see the success that this channel's had. You know, like it's now past 110,000 subscribers, which is just so cool. And we have all of you to thank for that. The fact that you guys have trusted us and tuned in and given us your support and your time and your gift subs and your super chats. It's just all very, very kind to see. So if you missed the stream last week, our legendary producer, Evan Yee, has taken on a new exciting opportunity opportunity that we can't really talk about, but you'll see him post about it at some point.
And hopefully we'll have him back. He'll be a face on the channel every now and then. He's welcome to come back whenever he likes. And hopefully we'll have him back on the channel soon.
He left us, and he's staying.
John changed the locks and did everything.
Well, hopefully he doesn't have a key. I mean, it's Evan Yee, not Evan Key.
I didn't get any keys from him. He can have a key as long as he wants, as far as I'm concerned. He's always welcome back in. We're going to be desperate to get him back to talk, especially I shouldn't say, but we had some news come out today that we want to talk about with you in the world of like movies and film and TV and all that stuff. But with Evan being so involved with the Break Room in terms of like moderating the chats on YouTube and on Twitch, he did so much. He poured really his whole soul into this channel. With him leaving, it's going to be impossible for us to do everything that Evan did, but we're going to just do our best to try to like keep the fun and keep the train moving. I think we can mostly do it, but it will just feel different for those of you who have been sticking with it for the past couple of years.
Yeah, and just to kind of continue to give Evan a lot of compliments and credit, because he doesn't like taking them when he's in person. Evan, if you're watching, this is a little bit of tea. I don't know. We had someone in Evan's role before Evan joined, and it was not a great fit. And we hired Evan, and it was a tremendous fit. And I think that what we kind of learned at New Rockstars is like that is a really hard role to step in. Yeah. So there's not going to be like a new Evan.
Yeah.
He's irreplaceable in our opinion, and that's why we're keen on having him back as often as possible when he's available. Obviously, he has a full-time job somewhere else, so it will be on like maybe special weekend streams or something like that. But really, 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 he is irreplaceable in our opinion. And so the way that we're going to replace him essentially is like all of us collectively are going to try to kind of shepherd his Breakroom vision along and continue to like, produce the show that he would be proud of us making and all that kind of stuff. So, don't worry, we're not replacing Evan. But the Breakroom's also not going anywhere.
Yeah, the faces that you've seen on the Break Room, Brandon, Zach, Jessica, John, myself, Gina, Berg sometimes maybe.
If he's nice.
Hank will still be around. Brian, who you've seen around, our studio tech team. It's going to be mostly the same show, but we are going to try to do the most like manageable version of it so that we don't like burn ourselves out. Because I think you'll see that burnout on screen and it won't be fun. So to make sure that this is still the most fun, purest Break Room experience, here's what you can expect in terms of programming from the Break Room. We are going to be live streaming twice a week now on the Break Room. Roughly 90-minute, 2-hour live stream on Mondays. That'll be similar to the Headlines shows that you've seen, but also kind of a compound show that may also be an after-show discussion for a different show.
Yeah.
That will be on Mondays, and it will be on Twitch and on YouTube, as we've been doing. And then we will do one more live stream during the week, later in the week. Sometimes it'll be on Fridays. It's just kind of a Q&A mailbag, like what this show is. But if there's like a big episode of a show that we're covering, or some other big news, a big trailer, a big set chair announcement thing, whatever happens, we may move it earlier in the week, and we're going to do our best to let you guys know as early in advance as we can, so that you guys can kind of schedule your time. And that will also be both on Twitch and on YouTube. Nothing's really changing there. If you are a watcher of the Break Room channel on YouTube and are someone who catches these uploads later as VODs, you're going to see 3 uploads generally a week on the New Rockstars channel. That Monday show is going to be split up into 2 different uploads. The second one will probably be the later segment where we talk about maybe some other show. It might be The Last of Us. It might be some other HBO Sunday night release, and maybe some other weekend news or something we didn't get to from the week before. And that will be a secondary upload that comes up on as a VOD live to tape thing later, maybe a Tuesday or Wednesday thing. So just to recap, 2 live streams a week, Monday and Friday, generally on Twitch and on YouTube, and then 3 YouTube uploads that are like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or a Monday, Tuesday, Friday.
Yeah, the goal I think was like, how can we continue to give you guys the same amount of content? We're going to try to stream for the same amount of time, basically per week, but make it a little bit less challenging on our end. So we still want to give you as much Break Room as we can, and this is the best way we've come up with being able to do that. Now, we're not going to leave you hanging on any big, exciting midweek anything. Will be here. So But, Mondays, Fridays, put it in your calendar, baby.
Yeah. Well, and it will be, again, the group that you know.
Yeah.
Brandon, Zach, John, myself, Jessica, Gina. And we know in past years of the Break Room, you've seen more regular guests. We want to get back to those because we have a lot of friends in our community of nerds here in Los Angeles that we love to have as guests on the show. We really wanted to make sure that we weren't overextending ourselves, and bringing in guests sometimes is more of an effort because you want to make sure you do extra work to make sure they feel welcome and do extra producing work. Sometimes it's easier just to go live with the people who are already in the office, which is why we were doing it. We wanted to make sure that like people who were watching the Break Room knew who New Rockstars was. And I think sometimes if you just see a regular guest who is not a full-time member of this team, people think that so-and-so works at New Rockstars, and there was just a bit of brand confusion over who the hosts of New Rockstars are. So part of the reason we did it so that you just saw more recurring faces is we wanted to be clearer with our viewers. Like when you tune into something, you know who's going to be there. And I think we're at a good place now. So hopefully by the end of this year, we'll be in a better position to like make it clear, oh, we're bringing in the special guest. One of those special guests, I guarantee you, will be Evan Nee, because I can't wait to get it back. And we don't want to change too much about this channel for when he does come back, because we want it to be kind of a familiar thing for him when he does come back.
I think we should make everything a little bit shorter just so he feels like he's grown taller since he's been gone.
And he has, I think.
Yeah.
I think he
Or he
has.
will.
Lift his spirits a little bit. Yeah.
We do have some questions from folks in the chat. Thank
I
you.
refuse to answer them.
Well, okay, I'll just ask Erik then. Keep sending them in. We appreciate them. Alicia VP16 asked this question. I think Erik mentioned it, but I saw this question come in before. Will we still be streaming on both Twitch and YouTube simultaneously? That is the plan. So if you are a fan of one platform over another, we are planning on being on both more frequently. So, if you're a YouTube diehard, we'll be there a little bit more often, probably. But if you're one of those Twitch heads, we're not leaving you behind.
Definitely not. And there's also like a big part of what Evan did was just like being in there in the chat with you guys, specifically on Twitch. And we want to do our best to preserve that. Like that's going to be the hardest adjustment I think we have to make is like, because we're going to be on camera now. We're not always going to have someone in the chat, but we also just want to make sure that we take other measures to make sure that we have zero tolerance for any kind of bigotry, hate, harassment of sometimes people who can end up in chat. And that tends to be not on Twitch. I think our Twitch community is pretty great.
You guys are good.
Pretty great.
You're YouTube folks.
But YouTube is just open to the masses and open to people who don't have to, but we want to try to make some measures to where it's like, we want it to be a conversation among the people who subscribe to the Break Room channel on YouTube. Sometimes if it gets really rowdy, we might put it on slow mode just to make sure everyone can see each other's replies. And again, if you're someone who's going to come in there and say some really hateful stuff, you're not going to get a timeout. You're going to get a permanent ban in terms of using the chat. You can still watch our stuff, but like you're going to lose your privileges.
Some guy was writing a really nasty comment right now. He just went, "You're right, sir."
Tankenstein42 asks, finally getting mods. And here's what I want to say about mods. It's something that we'll maybe be open to in the future. Right now, we did a version of the show with mods. It always made me feel uncomfortable having people do work for us and we did not pay them for it.
Yeah.
And, that makes it a little tough. Obviously, other communities have mods. We're going to try to keep, one of our community chats. I can't remember where we decided. Did we say Twitch was going to be our more moderated side?
Twitch will be where you'll see people from New Rockstars in there more often. Yeah. I think sometimes I'll be in the YouTube chat, but Twitch is really where we want to spend more of our time.
So if you're looking for a more kind of moderated and straight up chat experience, head over to the Twitch channel while we're live. If you're looking for the Wild West, head over to YouTube.
I think that's the expectation, though. If you're using YouTube, it's a public-facing thing. It's something to where we're trying to grow more and more and make our content open for new people. And I think if you join a live stream on YouTube, it's going to get kind of crazy sometimes. So it may be best. You don't have to join the chat there. But for those of you who do like the YouTube chat, welcome. We're going to do our best to still engage with you guys. and make that a fun live stream experience as well. But just understand, without super producer Evan, it's gonna have some hiccups, you know? And I think when I watch other great channels who do live streams, there are hiccups. There is stuff that gets missed sometimes, and it is kind of chaotic, and that's kind of the fun of it. So that's just kind of what you can expect going forward. And that's why we're limiting ourselves to 2 live streams a week. It's just so that we can kind of take this slow and see what we can really manage.
We're learning.
I'm not learning anything.
Some other...
I mean, I was born in 2002. I was born for Twitch.
The date keeps moving.
No, it's always been 2002. I'm pretty sure.
I thought it was 2000. Well, so Filthy Phil in the chat say we want more Brandon. I don't know if you're going to get more Brandon because Brandon's basically in that chair 5 days a week. So
hey, there was a time when I was doing like 3 after shows at a time. Those
were the days.
Those were the glory days. I've been on this Twitch since it was Justin.tv, guys. Been here since the beginning. Can't get rid of me. Brian appreciated that reference.
What a deep cut joke. Our Twitch representative still has an @Justin.tv.
Ooh, that's valuable on the street.
Yeah.
You can get good credits for that.
A couple more people. Captain Cannabis 420. Always a pleasure to see your name in here.
It's not funny, John. Take it seriously.
We need to replace Evan with an emote. Let's start there. That's a great idea. We'll cook an Evan emote for you guys.
Emote. That's a good idea.
A Yemote?
A Yemote.
Yeah. Maybe Evan dressed as the Grim Reaper.
On the YouTube side of things, Floyd Rogers, thank you for your super chat, saying I get to listen to you guys live while on a 2-hour drive home from Columbus. Congratulations on 2 years. Wow, is that something you do all the time? If so, wow, this commute.
He's got a bus. He's got a bus full of tourists, and he's just got his live stream. Sit down back there! I'm trying to watch the live stream. They're answering my questions.
Dixie, thank you for your Austin Powers reference name with really what is the true Avengers Endgame moment before our time of Tom Cruise playing Austin Powers, Gwyneth Paltrow playing this character, Kevin Spacey as Dr. Evil, Danny DeVito's Mini-Me, and Steven Spielberg was in that scene as well, directing the movie. Asked, would you ever collab with the Escape Pod podcast? I'm not familiar with the Escape Pod podcast.
Let's guess what they do. Escape Pod. Now, is that a Star Wars podcast?
It's Katy Perry's and Gayle King's podcast where they talk about space.
I think it's a Star Wars because they get in that Escape Pod at the beginning of A New Hope. They put the C-3PO and R2 get in there.
It's a sci-fi podcast.
Oh, general sci-fi. Okay.
And they've been around for a while. Like, we should know who they are. They're probably like, who's New Rockstars?
They're like, will they do one with us is the bigger question.
Yeah, would they give their time? I'm really open to collaborations with like anyone. The big thing is like, are they local? Do we know them? Is it, we're just very busy making our own stuff here.
If they're willing to get into a fight about Battlestar Galactica, I'm in.
Yeah, we'll talk. Tony Michael says, congrats on 2 years. This show deserves all the accolades and I love being part of the community. You guys inspire me every day. Well, thank you, Tony.
You say that, but I've submitted the nominations for Webbies every year, and they never put us on the list.
How dare they?
They always go to big shows.
Darth Avaguaco, frequent chatter, says, not gonna lie.
Your pit displeases me.
Not gonna lie, kind of sad. There's not gonna be less streams. I don't need, quote, quality content. Just hanging out is cool. Y'all so chill. Hey, I get it. We want to like address questions like this. So if they're hard questions or whatever, keep sending them in. We want to be streaming more often too, and we're going to try to, find ways for that to be a possibility. But in the near future, while we're in the state that we are as a company, it's a little challenging to do that. But again, turn the stream off halfway through and save it for tomorrow. It's
kind of like this
because we're trying to give the same amount of content.
Right? Same amount of time, just less
fewer
broadcast.
Days. So that Monday stream is going to be a long boy. Like today's is probably going to end up being.
Well, I'm going to get nasty messages on Slack about missing meetings and stuff. They're like, "You're still on the break room?" ? Also, this guy's ready for surgery. We do a lot of surgery here.
We do a lot of surgery. People don't know that about us.
We're both like a YouTube channel and an outpatient urgent care.
Yeah, we edit out the Code Blue PA announcements, but they do happen a lot. We also just wanted to kind of set the expectation with just 2 streams a week. Realistically, there may be more some weeks, but we just don't want to promise that so that you guys can realistically set your schedule and just know. But also, there's going to be a lot of other things New Rockstars is doing. We can't really talk about it yet, but we can say that Rumor Rundown is coming back.
Yeah,
something
that
tens of you are excited about that.
Yeah, there was a subreddit post about it. The subreddit doesn't exist.
We don't want it to blow up too much.
The breath of life into it. Yeah, we're going to bring back Rumor Rundown. We do Sneak Peek every week, which is kind of like a podcasty type show. We're going to bring back the Rumor Rundown, which is going to, this channel, both Breakroom and New Rockstars, we strive for journalistic excellence. Rumor Rundown is not that. Because as you know, as a fan of all these shows, the nerd sphere, there's a lot of nasty rumors out there, mostly from Jeff Snyder, that need to get talked about.
And those rumors are nasty.
And they are nasty rumors.
As in nasty as in like, spicy.
Well, it depends on who they come from.
We don't want to make those like clickbaity videos about rumors that are unsubstantiated and all, mostly casting rumors or like leaked photos. Like, we don't like to do that kind of stuff. But we talk about it in the office all the time. Yeah. So the Rumor Rundown is like a fun place. We'll have that podcast where it's full of lies, but it'll be a lot of fun to kind of talk about the rumory buzzes on the internet that week.
Yeah, and I think the episode 3 of that will come out in the next month or so, and that will be a weekly show that you can see on the New Rockstars channel or listen to in the podcast form wherever you get your podcast.
Yeah, if you're driving a bus full of tourists somewhere, pop on a little Rumor Rundown.
That's right.
One of our sponsors this week is HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. Hey, you have to eat, don't you? Well, with HelloFresh, you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. HelloFresh makes it easier to fit quick, home-cooked meals into your schedule every week by curating delicious recipes like pasta primavera, chicken Dijon, and pecan-crusted trout, as well as over 100 seasonal snacks, sides, and treats. HelloFresh has meal options to fit every lifestyle without compromising on taste, health, or homemade quality. Their ready-made meals offer chef-crafted, flavorful dishes that are ready in just 3 minutes, so you can dig in and get outside, or get to work done, or just get some more me time because your dinner only took 3 minutes to heat up. One of our favorites is the Southwest-style chicken bowl. The chicken is super moist and flavorful and has just the right amount of kick. It's seriously restaurant quality, but waiting for me at home and ready whenever I want. I don't want to go to a restaurant. There's other people there. I eat like an animal. Every HelloFresh meal uses high-quality ingredients, including seasonal, fresh produce and proteins that travel from the farm to your doorstep, plus flexible deliveries that you can pause and skip whenever you need. I like these kind of meal kits. I use them a lot. And my little tip, add a couple extra things to it, Oh, yeah. They only send you so many ingredients, but you can always throw mushrooms in. You could throw extra onions in.
That's right. Yeah, nice veggie on the side. Yeah.
And then you're like, it's my meal now. I made it. They did nothing.
You lie to your friends and family and say you cooked the delicious.
I run a restaurant out of my house, and it's actually just HelloFresh meals. Feel great with meals that fit your spring schedule and make the season even more delicious. Go to HelloFresh.com/Breakroom10FM right now to get 10 free meals. That's what the FM stands for. We're not on terrestrial radio. You can get those 10 free meals with a free item for life.
Wow.
And if you're like me and you're going to live to 120, you got HelloFresh over a barrel, baby.
What year is that? What year would you die?
If I was born in 2002, then I will die in 2102. No, 2122. Thank you. Mm-hmm. One per box. Of these free items, you get one per box with the active subscription. Free meals applied as a discount on first box. New subscribers only. This also varies by plan. Hey, you know what? Thanks again to HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit, for sponsoring our channel.
Oh, this is a huge super chat. Maybe one of the biggest super chats we've ever gotten from Christian Ford. Thank you, Christian Ford. Said, I became paralyzed on June 1st, 2020, shortly after I found New Rockstars, and became a big coping mechanism because it made me feel a part of a great community. Thank you all for what you do and having such beautiful souls. I know, I gotta know, though, top 3 Marvel movies in y'all's own opinion, from Blade to Thunderbolts. Well, Christian...
Oh, they're saying, like...
Back in the OG.
Marvel studio,
back in the OG.
Any Marvel licensed stuff.
OG.
Well, thank you for sharing that, Christian Ford, and we're so glad that we can be part of your life and that you're part of our life, and it's just cool that we can connect this way, and it's just amazing to just be able to connect with people, and that's what we love most about Breakroom, is getting to know you guys like this.
I've met a lot of New Rockstars fans, Breakroom fans, out in the wild. And I always get a little scared at first, but everyone's so nice and so kind. And it's a great community, and it's a fun place to talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
You want to rank your Marvel movies? Top 3, is that what they said?
It's hard. Yeah, so you're including Blade, which includes, like, not MCU.
I mean, I would put X2 is up there, very high for me. Important moment in my life, even though I was only 1 year old when that movie came out, because I was born in 2002. Update my IMDb, please. X2's got to be up there. I mean, that movie holds up. We just did the X-Men rewatch was that last year already? A year ago, and it was so good. Going through this again, that one holds up. I mean, is it fair to count Endgame as a cinematic experience?
Yeah,
incredible. And I will say, seeing the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie in theaters kind of blew my mind. In that, that was the moment when I was like, oh, this is working really well. And in that theater was a bunch of people who I wouldn't expect to come to a nerdy superhero movie. And I was like, wow, this works. And I cried twice, both at an animated talking raccoon and at an animated tree. They made me cry. And I was like, this is working.
I think
so maybe those three?
My top three would be Guardians of the... I don't know in what order, but Guardians of the Galaxy. I think Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 2018. It's got to be up there. And then maybe... I do like X2. I like X2 a lot. I think I'll throw Logan up there. I think Logan is the best, the highest quality. Now, is it as superhero cinema? It's just kind of its own kind of deconstructed
does that
Western.
count? Yeah.
Does it work as well without all the other Hugh Jackman Wolverine movies that came before it? Maybe not.
Okay.
So I think X2 is maybe the worthier entry, just because we only had one movie to get to know all those characters like that.
Yeah.
Oh man, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man.
Pretty good.
Still to this day,
pretty good.
One of the ones I want to put on again. Iron Man.
Ooh.
I was out.
That blew my mind. Yeah.
I was out. I was not interested. I didn't give a shit. My dad was like, "We're gonna go see Iron Man," and I was like, "All right, fine." And I had my arms crossed when I walked into that theater, and by the end of it, I was so excited for the future of everything that was happening. Little did we know it was gonna be as big as it is now. Those are my top two. Can I cheat and put Infinity War and Endgame into one package?
Yes,
sure.
That's cheating.
Okay.
I just
cheated.
Zach,
jump scare.
Zach, we thought you were leaving too.
Yeah.
Evan said he didn't want me. So you're stuck. You
gotta stay here.
That was such a good question. Whoever submitted that.
Christian Ford.
Christian. And with this weekend's big success of Revenge of the Sith re-release, what other movie is ready for a big cinematic re-release?
Is this a trick question, or are you asking?
No. I'm just saying legit. That many people wanted to go see Revenge of the Sith in theaters, even though that is available to stream for free on Disney Plus, right?
It's not the same.
Right.
What movie do you think it's been out, that hasn't been in theaters for a while, but people want to see on a big screen?
I would love to see Rogue One right now, just because we're
right now
feasting on Andor.
Absolutely.
A re-release of Rogue One would be great.
This is a little biased from a recent great Patrick H. Williams video, but Speed Racer, put it back out again.
Ooh, the Wachowski Speed Racer?
Put it back out again. I want to see it again on the big screen.
I will say in a similar line to you guys, something you've watched recently with Sinners being out in IMAX right now. I'm put Oppenheimer back in there, put Dune back in there. I just want to watch some big ass. I know.
Yeah.
I just want to watch these cool, grand movies on the biggest screen possible.
Yeah, that would be great. It'd be really cool.
I know those are more recent, but
No,
I agree. Or any of the Avatars, because I only want to see those in theaters. I don't like watching them at home.
Yeah. How about you, Zach?
Well, this is my hobby horse, but movies that you've grown up with and never been able to see in a theater. And also due to his recent passing, David Lynch's Dune, baby. Put it on the big screen. Angelo Badamente's score blasted me through IMAX, okay? That's what I want. Okay.
The sleeper must be awoken.
Man, Jaws, Jurassic Park, all movies that I never got to see in theater. Would love to see.
Any other questions or comments?
I've got a bunch of great questions here. Savvy and Blanc asking, when can we expect Gina was right shirts? The answer is never. Malishka
We can't find a printer in the world that will agree to do it.
we keep sending them in. And they're like, I don't know.
They're like, I refuse.
She was wrong.
She was wrong.
Malishka asking, are we keeping the 3 p.m. start time mostly or more early streams like this one? That's a good question. I think the answer is mostly 3 p.m. streams.
Pacific time.
We do streams earlier in the morning for things like after shows. We want to get talking about them as soon as possible the next day. So we're going to talk about Andor here in a little while. That's why we started early today. That's why we started early on Monday, so we could talk about The Last of Us. But generally, 3 p.m. is...
What do we think this coming Monday? We're going to do it early again? Or are we going to transition more into a later...
I think this coming Monday we'll do 3 p.m.
You heard it here first.
Maybe 3:05 sharp. I don't know.
Bing, bang, boom. Nadage asking, hey team, been a fan since day one. Mazel on all the success and growth of the new Rockstars and Breakroom. Would new Rockstars ever consider doing a one-shot D&D game? Boy, have we talked about trying to get into D&D so much. Here's my personal opinion. Something that I haven't talked about with everyone. I would love to do a D&D show. The problem is, I think Dimension 20 is doing exactly what we would want to do.
We do a lesser version of Dimension 20.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And I was watching Andor last night, and I've been watching Starstruck Odyssey, Dimension 20 season, and I keep getting my terms mixed up. So if I call something like faster than light travel when we talk about Andor, I apologize, but that great show has been on the brain. Maybe we'll do a one-shot's not a bad idea. Maybe we'll do something like that.
Is a one-shot just like a quick campaign? Like
it's a one session. Okay. You get through the whole thing. We are maybe going to do a little bit of Magic the Gathering something or other in the coming weeks, month, something like that. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, interesting. I'm intrigued.
Any other?
Yeah, Miss J93, hard-hitting journalistic question for you, Erik. Can we ask Erik to get back to the goddamn deep dive channel? I threw in a little profanity there. Just put a pause on the movie he's been working on and pick a new, easier one.
No.
Which, like, reading between the lines, very good, because the one that's coming, I don't know if you want to announce
You've got
it
one. You've got one. You don't have a word, right? But you have a...
I've told people that we're doing Tenet, but here's the thing: starting a new one, I think, would be harder.
It would take longer, yeah.
And I'm constantly starting new ones for the new Rockstars channel. Like I'm starting a new one. We're doing a Superman rewatch series that Gina's been helping out with. Like anytime I have to trick my brain into living in a cinematic world, that is a new one for me. Whether it's on the new Rockstars channel or the Deep Dive channel, really to truly honor the name of the channel as a deep dive, it has to take a long time. At this point, it's taking longer than Christopher Nolan spent on the movie Tenet. But I will get back to it. I promise I will get back to it. I think that this movie, it's just uniquely difficult. But I only want to do uniquely difficult movies on the deep dive. So I'm not going to switch to doing Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. I want to do another hard one after Tenet.
Shots fired.
Well, I want to break down that movie, just maybe on the new Rockstars. I don't want to go into insane analysis on it. I think I'm setting up Tenet to be a greater video than it will be when it releases.
I think it's going to be great.
Hey, well, you know what? You know what my opinion is? There's no way you can make a good Tenet video. Actually, we have made a good Tenet video. I think that's
We've made several.
I'm such a Tenet hater, only because of the circumstances in which we had to watch that movie. Alicia VP asking Dropout and NR collab. But here's the thing. It's already happened. Not on our channel, but over there. So Brandon has been on Dropout shows. Zach has been on Dropout shows. Jessica has been on Dropout shows.
Segment.
Anna Vanston hilariously has been on a Dropout show.
Hector's been on.
Of course, Hector's been on a bunch.
I was on a couple episodes of Him Actually in the past. Yeah.
Eric's been on Him Actually.
I won one of the times.
Oh my gosh. So, a little secret here. Jessica does a lot of the booking for not Dimension 20
for Dropout
necessarily, but Dropout specifically. So sometimes some NR people float in there every so often. Yeah. So
they were gonna have me on that show where they put the people in makeup, and I got there, and they were like, "Oh,
he's already
hideous." And I was like, "You guys, please be nice to me."
Iron Dad on YouTube, thank you for your super chat, said Daredevil Born Again creator said no defenders in the season 1 finale in order to keep things bleak and desperate. Do you agree? Should there have been defenders in the final shot of season 1? I think it still would have been bleak and desperate even if you had them. It would have felt more desperate if Jessica Jones is okay, I'll do it. You know? I'll help you, Matt Murdock. Right? I think it wasn't.
I think she was there.
Choice.
She was behind the bar face down, I think.
I think the creators, Benson Moorhead, were or not creators, but the showrunners were if you put them in there, it's gonna feel like a triumph for Marvel viewers. My argument is well, then let's not see any team. Let's see an empty bar with just empty bar stools, and it's just Karen there. To have Cherry and Angie Kim there, it kind of felt like they wanted us to feel excited for them, and no one is.
We own this.
I always get excited about Cherry. Come on,
Cherry.
Yeah, that finale of Daredevil Born Again felt the new folks were okay, we're excited to get this season out of the way so we can start on our season or whatever, but also kind of felt you remember when we used to have long 24 episode seasons, and before Christmas they would do a mid-season finale. Obviously this was gonna be 18 episodes. We only got 9, and now the next season is only gonna be 8. But that felt like almost like a mid-season finale. So thank goodness we're going to get season 2 next year.
Yeah. Ashu, thank you for your super chat. Said, I love you guys. Started watching you guys since WandaVision, the Mephisto era. My question is, what do you think we get to... Yeah, for sure. What do you think we get to know this Comic-Con Marvel, and when can we get the first look of Doomsday? So yeah, Marvel Studios Hall H presentation in July. I think definitely some information about Doomsday. Maybe some footage.
Started production this week. They started shooting this week.
Yep. Yeah. We saw a mysteriously fedora bag wielding man enter a hotel room or something. I don't know. Did anyone else see that clip?
Oh, right.
There's a clip circulating around
in London. Yeah.
We maybe in the next week we'll do a who all could also be in a Doomsday.
But I'm sure they'll have some
rundown
sort of
or a break room stream.
Sizzle reel, not necessarily a trailer, but maybe just some footage. Now they love to have someone show up in costume. Who do you think might show up in costume?
Oh,
do you roll?
Downey.
Does Downey come in?
I think Downey's in costume. Yeah.
You gonna run it back and do the same as last Comic-Con?
Just the same thing of a mask and then new mask.
I think it would be like,
else.
But it would be the full movie costume. What it's gonna look like. I mean, I guess it depends on if they want to show that ahead of the movie or if they're saving it for a reveal in the movie.
I was going to say, I think it depends on what leaks, right? Like Chris Evans coming out would blow the roof off of Hall H again, right? I don't know. He's been leaked by the press to be in the movie.
Right.
Yeah. We don't know what character he's going to be I
Yeah.
If he comes out in like full old Cap makeup or something like that, you know?
He's been in the front row the whole time. I don't think I will ask a question. Or I imagine like an original X-Men coming out and like if James Marsden comes out in Cyclops gear, but like blue and yellow Cyclops gear, people will freak out.
Ooh, that would be good.
Because I don't know if they're gonna look more like Singer era or if they're gonna look more comic book accurate, because we don't really know which version of the X-Men this is gonna be. We assume it's maybe the same one from the Fox universe, but.
Or at least from the Marvel's post credits,
right? But is that the same? Who can say? I think we'll definitely get a lot of Doomsday news at Comic-Con. They might like tease a new series, like a new television series. Because we don't really know what the future of Marvel television is post the second season of
It's a good point, right? In the past years, they've sort of done.
We have animated stuff coming, but
we've got, I guess, the Vision Quest show and Wonder Man. But beyond that, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be something big for Fantastic Four because it's going to be the release weekend of Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Right, we had last year all those dancing Deadpools coming down the aisles. Yeah. Maybe we'll have the Fantastic car.
Just bring that car back. That car was awesome.
And I think maybe an announcement of a movie that takes place in between Doomsday and Secret Wars, right?
Ooh.
Because they have theater slots Disney owns that are not claimed yet.
Oh, the release schedule slots. Yeah. I mean, at this point, what could it be that...
Only a Doctor Strange movie maybe makes sense in there.
I mean, we would start to have to hear about it before July, I think, in order... Because, contracts are being signed.
Right.
I just don't think anything will come out between...
You think they're just going to do a back-to-back Avengers?
I think they might.
In there.
Spider-Man Brand New Day. And I think there will be a movie that comes out late 2027 after Secret Wars.
Like maybe that's where they announce an X-Men, a mutant-based movie, whether it's X-Men, whether it's a singular.
I don't know if they announced that at this year's Comic-Con. Like, I'd be surprised if they announce that. I think they're gonna want us to be singularly focused on Doomsday and Secret Wars, like as their big next things. I think to tell us that the Mutant Saga is coming after that. Like, I just knowing the way they do it, once they have big things on their front burner, they really don't want to give you a bigger thing on a back burner.
Yeah.
Oh, Frederick Price, one of our members, or an executive producer member on the new Rockstars channel. Thank you so much. Said, love you guys. Keep what you're doing. Any chance you'll do a Predator Badlands? We will break down that movie when it comes out. I wanted to break down this trailer. We just have a lot on our plate right now, but it is a really fun trailer. And the movie, I'm pretty excited for the movie.
I saw someone in the chat say Prey was one of their, wish I could have seen this in a theater.
I wish they would have put it in a theater,
Should have done it.
Yeah. Jason Sizemore, Eric, you are the GOAT. I disagree. But I have a ton of respect for you. Thank you. And you and the new Rockstars crew got me addicted to superhero stuff, and I love it. Thank you, Jason. We really appreciate you. And RJ Gatica Thank you for your super chat. Hey team, don't have a question about the future of the Break Room, but I was wondering what you thought about the Weapons trailer. It's my most anticipated movie of 2025. Loving the marketing and love the director's last film. Agree. I mean, that Weapons trailer.
Do they find it scary? The kids running in the street? Is it scary yet?
Well, that marketing was really cool. And then the trailer with Julia Garner as like a school teacher. Yeah. There's a lot of crazy stuff happening in that. The fact that Jordan Peele fired his manager because they didn't aggressively bid for this movie for it to be his next movie just tells you how much excitement there is for this.
Yeah. And they're doing some really interesting marketing stuff. And that sort of tells me that the studio has confidence in this movie. I don't know, maybe take it the other way. And they're like, we got to make this weird so that people...
Yeah, because this will be Zach Cregger's like big second movie, right? After Barbarians. So is there like too much pressure there? Does it make it like... Does he overextend, that kind of like sophomore follow-up? Is it too much pressure?
It's hard.
I don't know.
I think I thought Barbarian was a fascinating movie. Structurally, thematically, was really, really cool. I think this, whatever this ends up being, is the right kind of move you want to see from a horror director in their sophomore outing. I don't think it's like M. Night Shyamalan Signs type of like marketing. It's a different type of marketing. It's an even deeper mystery.
Came after.
Technically, Sixth Sense was. I mean,
Sixth
he also
was
directed
Unbreakable, and like that was a good double whammy. I thought
it was, and Shyamalan had written a bunch of scripts before even Unbreakable, right? Didn't he do? He did that movie where Rosie O'Donnell plays a nun. It's like Staying Awake, I think is what it's called. It's kind of a sad, interesting movie that the guy has like an interesting career. But yeah, I'm excited for Zach Cregger. I think
guess
this is going to be
he
a
has
good one for him.
a previous movie called Miss March, so this would be his third film.
Oh, okay.
According to Festive Wise here in the chat.
I'll read the Wikipedia. I don't like scary movies.
It's true. Someone was asking if we're going to do a Mission Impossible 8 breakdown over my dead body and under Brandon's.
How could you hate that franchise?
I don't.
So
I really don't.
so
I'm just doing it to
so
rile
beautiful.
you up, Brandon.
Listen, there's a message. Someone's still alive from the first movie, and I gotta know who it is. I gotta know.
The
who
greatest
it is.
American franchise.
It's the greatest American franchise. Nothing
is.
touches it. Nothing touches it. You heard me, Star Wars.
We want to try to break down the movie on the new Rockstars channel. We just have to see if we can get an early screening of it. It's going to be a busy time at the end of May, but we want to try to do it.
Yeah.
Momo Akib, thank you for your super chat. Loved all your Severance breakdowns because I kept looking at the show from an IO psychologist perspective, and y'all had a different perspective. Very cool. Would love to hear your thoughts.
Is Severance too difficult to get into?
I don't think so.
No, what do you mean?
I think I've talked to people who like just watch the show. They'll watch each episode. They don't watch any other like ancillary content. And there's so much you don't catch. I think if you're not like really looking in between the lines on that show, and I wonder if it's like almost too hard to get into.
But then go to the subreddit. Go to TikTok.
I guess, but
go
what
to
if
the
you
new
want to do
Rockstars
that?
YouTube channel.
What if you're busy driving and you can only listen to the show while you're driving?
A van
A
full
lot
of
of
tourists.
bus driver examples.
Listen, I was driving around LA. I was behind someone who had their phone up on like a mounted thing.
I mean,
they were watching Severance, and I was like,
what I'll tell you.
What are you absorbring on this show while you're driving?"
There was a thought that I had in my head this morning driving to work. I would just throw on Andor and listen to it and drive. I did not do that. I did not do
You
that.
also eat a bowl of cereal while you're driving.
I do. I do. I've got the dog next to me, giving him pets, eating a bowl of cereal, and watching Andor.
Also, if you
knee
drive,
on the wheel.
If you drive with the dog on your lap,
That's crazy.
It's mean to the dog.
it's mean to me, another person on the road. Okay.
I feel similarly about Andor in a lot of ways. It's like there's so many characters that kind of fly past you that, I always kind of have like a characters list next to me while I watch to be like, okay, yeah, this is that person, and put all the pieces together.
And really, I'm just playing devil's advocate. Severance is a great show, and I love it. And more shows should be a little harder to get into. There's too much dumb slop out there.
Yeah. All right. Any other things from our friends on Twitch, or are we good to wrap it up here?
I think it's time to wrap it up.
Hey, we really want to thank you guys.
Yeah, thanks for
we're gonna keep
tuning
this.
in.
We're gonna keep this party going on the break room at least twice a week, maybe more. But we'll let you guys know what happens. But it's gonna be a lot of fun.
And tune in on Friday. We'll be live discussing Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
If you have a chance to see it Thursday night or Friday morning, tune in. We'll be on around 3 p.m. Pacific in the afternoon.
Brandon, Erik, Jessica, I think that's the plan.
Yeah.
think so?
And then maybe more. I don't know.
knows?
Maybe
I don't
whoever
know.
else is around.
Yeah.
But other than that, we're going to head out. We'll see you later, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.